The tragic tale of Medusa, beauty, betrayal, and transformation. Imagine being celebrated for your beauty, only to see it turned into the curse that defines you forever. Medusa wasn't always the fearsome Gorgon of legend. She was once a radiant priestess of Athena, admired and envied by gods and mortals alike. But her fate took a cruel turn. Medusa's downfall began in Athena's own temple. As the dedicated servant of the goddess, she vowed purity and devotion. Yet her mesmerizing beauty caught the attention of Poseidon, the god of the sea, igniting both desire and conflict. But what followed was no romantic tale, only tragedy. Poseidon, drawn by his power and greed, violated Medusa in Athena's sacred temple. Instead of sympathy, Athena lashed out in vengeance. Fueled by wrath and the desecration of her temple, she cursed Medusa, transforming her golden hair to snakes and her gaze into a weapon that turned men to stone. Imagine the isolation that follows becoming a living weapon. Medusa, once honored for her grace, was now feared and reviled. Cast away into a desolate island, she lived in solitude, far from the world that shunned her existence. In her isolation, she discovered the terrifying scope of her power. Her newfound appearance, though monstrous, reflected her pain. Each snake writhing on her head told the story of her betrayal and anguish. The power of her deadly gaze, a reminder of her curse, protected her from harm, while also ensuring that no one would ever see her humanity again. Medusa's journey reveals a sad irony. She was both the predator and the prey. Warriors who sought glory attempted to slay her, fueled by stories that painted her as a mindless beast. Yet, beneath the scales and fangs, Medusa remained a figure of suffering, never choosing the path laid out for her. Perseus, a demigod favored by the gods, set out to slay Medusa. Driven, not by hatred, but necessity. Sent on this perilous mission to save his mother, Perseus knew he would need divine tools to face the Gorgon. The gods, mindful of his task, provided him with enchanted gifts. Armed with Hermes' winged sandals, Hades' helmet of invisibility, a polished shield from Athena, and a razor-sharp sword, Perseus embarked on his fateful journey. The polished shield, acting as a mirror, was his most crucial tool, enabling him to face Medusa's gaze without turning to stone. When Perseus finally found Medusa's lair, the moment was tense and tragic. The once proud priestess wasn't the monster Perseus expected, but her reputation left no room for negotiation. Using the mirrored shield, Perseus approached and struck with precision, severing her head, a moment that immortalized both his triumph and her torment. Even in death, Medusa's story did not end. From her severed neck sprang Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chrysaor, a giant with a golden sword, both born of her union with Poseidon. Her head, dripping with power, became a trophy that Perseus wielded to protect himself and others. But Medusa's image transcended mere weaponry or myth. Her face, etched into shields and coins, evolved into a symbol of protection and defiance. Over time, she became more than a legend of terror. She stood as a reminder of resilience, embodying both power and the haunting consequences of injustice. Medusa's story ripples through art, literature, and modern identity. For some, she represents injustice endured by women at the hands of power. For others, she is a beacon of strength, finding her narrative reclaimed over centuries. The Gorgon isn't a simple villain. She's a mirror reflecting the complexities of human emotion. Medusa was never just a monster. She was a victim turned survivor, her legend steeped in misunderstandings and fear. Her life teaches us about power, resilience, and the consequences of unchecked divinity. Yet she also asks us to reconsider stories told by the victors and see the heart behind the monster. By diving into her tale, we uncover a portrait of pain and redemption. Medusa's legacy reminds us that myth isn't just about gods and heroes. It's about understanding the parts of ourselves reflected in these characters, including our fears, triumphs, and struggles for justice. If Medusa's story moved you, don't let it end here. Share this tale with others, explore more myths, and challenge the way history tells its heroes and villains. Subscribe now to join our journey through ancient stories, where truth and legend collide, and embrace the rich humanity within myths like Medusa's.